All right, guys, like I said, we are going to go over the best controller settings for no builds. I'm going to go step by step. I'm going to try to explain each reason why I use each thing. I'm not just going to have you take a screenshot and tell you this is what I'm using, you should use it. I'm going to tell you what I am using, why I'm using it, and why I prefer it over some other things. So let's get right into it, and we'll just go from left to right here. And sorry about my camera. My light literally just went out as I was starting this video. I came right after work to make this video, so I'm still in my work clothes. My hair's a mess, so excuse that. Excuse the lighting, but we're gonna get this video done. Okay, so brightness preference thing. I used to have it at like 110 or something like that. The storm on console, when you have that much brightness, is just impossible to see through. So I'm back down to 80. I'm trying it out, but I think 80 is where I'm going to stay. It's just what my preference is, but it's all about preference. Colorblind mode, I suggest you leave this off. Nowadays, it isn't like how it used to be in like Chapter 1 or early Chapter 2, where you can see everything different in colors because of colorblind mode. They kind of toned it back a little bit. As you can see, I was on colorblind 8, and I've gone through them. Like personally, like Pro looks the best to me. Personally, but I'm just leaving it off because I don't think it helps anymore. It's just one of those things that they've already touched with and messed with so much that it's just doesn't matter anymore. You just leave it off. Trust me, especially if you're on console. Motion blur off, obvious for obvious reasons. And I like to see my FPS, even though I personally can feel when my FPS is low and down. So that's another preference thing. I know like typical gamer, he's got his ping and his FPS off, and I'm going to show you how to put your ping up there too if you'd like it. Obviously, language, toggle sprint I think comes auto on. I prefer auto open doors. I know some people don't. It's just easier for me. I just run by and open it because I can manually close it too, or I can manually open it because if it only opens if you get close to the door. So say if you're like on a corner and you run up to the door, you can kind of like stop right before the door and open it manually before it automatically does it for you. The mantle activation. So I actually messed with this for about 2 weeks. The hold forward on controller, it's not it. There was a lot of times where like when you're falling, you can kind of catch yourself and mantle upwards. When you're holding forward, you can't get that mantle. So it's just leave it on jump. Trust me, it's better. It's just how it is. Maybe on keyboard it's a little bit better, but controller not so much. Hold the SWAT to pick up. I personally love this. I don't tell any of my friends to use it because I think it kind of confuses them, but I personally love this. So say you have your 5 slots in the inventory, right? You got your 5 slots. Say you only have a shotgun and like a revolver, but you see a SMG on the ground. So instead of just picking up the SMG and just have it automatically shuffling it for you, you just run up to the SMG and hold square while you're holding the revolver, and it'll just swap those two. And then those other slots still stay empty. I personally love it. I mean, in some situations it helps better than the organized slots. I just personally love it, and I've been using it for, I want to say, almost a year now, since they ever put it into the game. I've had it on. So I think that's great. And oh, my camera's in the way. So hold up, guys. I'm going to switch my camera to the other side. Hold the swap. Yes, I love it. Been using it ever since it came out. Toggle targeting, I'm not a huge fan of. It's just you click your ADS once and you just hold it there. That's all it is. I prefer just holding it and then letting it go and come back down. That's just me. I know some games like Tarkov where a lot of people like to have toggle and they're just used to it. I'm used to the other way, so I keep it off. Mark dangers when targeting. All that means is when you're aiming down sights, it'll mark a little red mark instead of your big yellow, blue, pink, and purple big ping. So yes, I do that as a preference thing. Auto pick up weapons, yes. I know like my wife and Jessica, they don't want it on. Even Kev doesn't have it on. I think they're just used to not playing without it. And sometimes it just saves my life where I just run by a gun not even noticing it running for somebody, and I pick up a gun on accident. And I probably have a handful of times where that has actually saved my life, so I keep it on. Preferred item slots. We'll just go into this. I'll show you. I don't have many. Actually, I'm going to take, as we're talking about this, I'm going to take the slot 1 to be unassigned. I would like to have like a grenade, impulse, the new glove to run around in that slot right next to my shotgun. That's just personal preference thing. I know a lot of people like to put their shotgun first on the list. Back in chapter 1, season 3, when I started playing, I had AR, shotgun, SMG. So I'm just used to it being in that second slot. So I like to put my movement item in that first slot. So yeah, shotgun is in my second slot. My SMG is in my third slot, which is just, so it's right next to my shotgun. So if I shoot once, switch to the SMG real quick, switch back to the shotgun. Fourth slot is consumables. I like my minis, my 50s, my splashies there. And the fifth one is unassigned because I like to put extra heals there. So maybe if I have horrible loot, maybe put a grenade there. Anything medkit, just an extra thing. It just helps me out mentally. Just keep my items like that. I prefer not having too many, because then when you pick up a gun that isn't in your preferred item slots, it kind of freaks everything out. So have like 2 or 3. I think that's the way to go, personally. Auto sort consumables to the right. All that means is put your stuff, minis and 50s, on the right side, and like your, I think maybe your grenades, maybe not your grenades. This has been on for me since day 1, so that's just a preference thing. We're not going to go over building. We don't need buildings. We're not talking about building, but as you can see here, if you really want to know, I have all this on. So, contextual ticks off. I'm over them. Don't need to see them. No, invert view. No. Invert while airborne. Yes, just because that's how it came with. Turbo delete and creative mode. See, all this, honestly, this extra game options, you don't need to touch if you don't want to. There's a couple things you do to help your FPS on console, but we'll talk about that in replays here. So in the replays, I suggest if you're on console and your console is super old like mine, I'm running on my 8-year-old PS4, turn record replays off. I know it's a bummer. I know it sucks. You can't go back into replays and watch your games, but you can screen record from your PS4 or your Xbox. And so that's how I do it. If you really want to get in there, have that 3D view, you might want to leave this on. But this helps with FPS more than you would know. So the HUD is option. I normally would actually have it smaller, down to like 60. But because of the size of my camera, and because me being on a PS4, I see my camera on my screen. Like my face is top right corner as well. It's covering up the HUD scale just like you guys. I have to put it in the bottom left so it doesn't cover my mini map or anything. But you normally have health down there. So to see my overshield and stuff, I moved it up to 88, so it's just outside my camera box. But I love my HUD low. As low as you can go with reading it easily, because it just gives you a bigger screen to work with, less junk on your screen and whatnot. So that's what I do. Show a spectator count. I have it on. I heard I've heard a thing where you have this off. It helps with FPS. I've flipped it back on and off. I don't see a difference. Reticle, yes. Player health, yes. Resources, yes. Minimap, yes. Yes. Quick bar, target info, yes. Pickup loot stream, yes. Map and backpack keys, that's just like, it shows right above your guns and right next to your mats and ammos. I don't need to see that. I already know what they are. Elimination feed, yes, I've heard this helps with FPS too, but I like being able to see who's on the elimination feed so I can watch my teammates' health and see if they get a kill or who killed them, whatnot. Net debug status is your ping. So that goes up by the top left corner of your screen, like right here, if this was your screen. Right next to your players' names and your teammates' names. I like having this on because if I have really bad internet one day, I might choose not to stream. That's a personal preference. Just like I said earlier, typical gamer doesn't have his FPS or ping on. I like seeing that stuff. I love getting that information. I'm all about absorbing that information and what I get during the game. And that ping helps where I should, if I'm having really high ping in one moment, maybe just sit back for a second. If I'm really good ping, I'm just pushing everything. Because I'm on Wi-Fi, so my ping fluctuates. I'm not a steady ping. I'm on Wi-Fi. So net debug status is on. Quest progress on. I like seeing that. Reticle ammo indicator, no. I know some people like being able to see it, but I can hear it. Like, all guns sound different when they get low ammo, except for the revolver, but you know you only have 6 shots, so I just count. So I take that off because that's just more junk on my screen. Back to the HUD. I don't like junk on my screen. I just want to see the image and let me game. Control prompts on. I just leave this on. And creative runtime performance off. I don't care about that. Gyro aiming, keep it off. You don't want it on. You lose aim assist up close. It helps with long range, but keep it off. All my friends come to me for their settings and stuff because I'm the one who always tweaks my settings. I'm the one who's always looking things up for my settings. So I think it's just time I just make a video about it, and so that way if anyone asks me, I'll just reference them in my video. Give me a little bit more views that way. But anyways, controller settings. We're not going to start at the top here, and I'll explain why. We are going to go all the way down to your look input curve right here. So this is going to make a huge difference on your aim assist and how your controller stick works. Linear, the way I have it, which I prefer because you get a little bit more aim assist up close. It's a little bit more easier to control up close. The way I describe it is when you push your analog stick here, where's my other controller? So if I get my, where's it at here? If I get my, oh gosh, you can't see that. My lighting is so terrible. So if you look at my controller here, when you're on linear, when you push over to the right or say left, it is one constant speed. So say if you have you're on a scale from 1 to 10, that speed, say we're for this example, speed 3. If I push it over, it's always going to stay on speed 3. It's never going to fluctuate. The only time it will fluctuate is when you are making that tiny small adjustments yourself. So if I'm doing this, that's the only time it will ever do that because it's going up and down really quick. But if you just do this, it goes to the right or left at that number 3 speed. Now, if you have it on, let me grab my other controller here, exponential, okay, same example. Say we have it on 3 speed. Actually, it wouldn't even work like that technically, but we'll say for this example, we'll keep it on 3. So when I push over to the right, it will start at like 2 and then go up to 3. It will get exponentially faster. So those small micro adjustments from deep range where you can actually make a little error, if say you push a little too far over to the right, it won't be moving as fast as linear because it starts lower and then get exponentially faster. If that doesn't make sense, say just if I hold over to the right, I'll just start spinning faster and faster. Where if I do it on linear, it'll just be one constant speed the whole time. And so that will make a huge difference on what we're going to talk about next is just your regular look sensitivity. So if you're on exponential, which I have one friend who's still on exponential and he loves it, I personally say you should be using linear just because you get more aim assist up close, and that's a lot of the fights is close to mid-range. So keep linear on. That's my preference. I strongly urge you to use linear. But say you're on exponential, your look horizontal and look vertical speed is gonna be up at like 80%. Honestly, it's just because of how sensitive it is. Comparison, like trying to make those quick flick shots isn't gonna be a thing when you're on exponential. It's gonna be up at like 80, and you're gonna feel like you're not moving at all. But we're not on exponential. We're on linear. So I like 40-40. I've used like 60s for no builds. I've used like 30s for no builds. 30s is just like a little bit too slow. I maybe get away with like 36, maybe. I was using 38 when I'm like not. If Fortnite's feeling really sensitive, I'll be on 38. But when I'm like frying, I'm playing good, it's on 40. So both these are 40, and then you actually want these turning horizontal boost and vertical boost off, because it's going to make your stuff go faster, and so why not play on exponential at that point? So keep this off if you want linear to work properly. If you're on linear and you have any of these up, your aim assist is actually not working as strong as it could. And everyone's going to be like, nah, that's not how it works. Trust me, on console, that's how it works. I've done, like I said, I am the stats guy, the sensitivities guy when it comes to controller on console with my friends. So please trust me, keep these off. You'll have more aim assist without them. So now this is where a lot of people will argue against me. A lot of my friends still argue against me. But look how low my look horizontal vertical thing sensitivities are. They're on 10%. So the lower your ADS speed, the more aim assist you actually have. pulling up to a target. So the lower it is, the better. But anything like 8, if someone's like running like 100 meters and they're just running in a straight line across, it can't keep up. It's just a little too slow. You maybe can get away with 9 if you like slow sensitivities, but 10 is where it's at. If you're used to aiming and you're used to using controller, use 10%. You'll feel the aim assist so much more. Someone like my wife and Jessica, I think my wife's on 20 and I think Jessica's on like 26. They're not so used to aiming with controller, so that little extra speed helps them readjust. So if you're not someone who is used to playing shooter games, you maybe want to have it on like 26, maybe even 30. Like I said, I think Jessica is on 26. It just helps them readjust after their first initial aim. But if you are a COD player, an Apex player, a Destiny player, an H1Z1 player, a pub player, I would suggest turning it down to 10, let that aim assist do the work for you, and then you just worry about the bloom. Same thing with this, turn your boost off, you'll just become exponential, and that's not what you want. Damping time 0, you just want it to work immediately. Aim assist strength 100. If you're not using 100, what are you doing? And then the last little bit here that we're going to talk about is the most important, in my opinion, is the dead zones of your analog sticks. So mine is 6 and 9, as you can see. It depends on stick drift. If you have a lot of stick drift, you might need to turn this up all the way to like 24, because I think the default's like in 20. Maybe they moved it down to like whatever this is, 12, but it used to be like at 20, which is like nothing. So it's hard to see, but see right in the bottom left hand corner of my camera, see that little circle that's going on? So that's your dead zone. So any little movement, so if I move my stick, see how it's registering? So I'm moving my stick a little, like I'll show you here. If I'm moving my stick a little to the right, you can see how it's affecting. But see, all that is not going to register as moving on your screen. So that's why it helps with stick drift, because it say like your stick's always like this. Your screen won't be constantly turning or whatnot. But so you actually want these as low as you possibly can, because the smaller it is, the more reactive it is, the quicker it will be. I like 6 and 9. If I could I'd do 6 and 6, but I think my controller's just at that point where I'm going to stick with 9. It's fine with me. No foot controllers, no nothing. Vehicles accelerate with thumbsticks. This is new. I haven't actually seen these. I haven't even looked in 2 weeks. So yeah, these are new. Keep these on. I haven't even touched them. Audio settings, all preference. I personally like 3D headphones. I don't have 3D headphones. These ones are called Be Excellent. They're just some cheap headphones I got for like $30, and I've had them for a year and I absolutely love them. But I keep them on because I've had them on forever. I personally hate visualize audio. I have my wife using it because she's not used to the audio in game. But like I was talking about earlier with the HUD, I hate the clutter. I hate all the clutter on my screen, even the challenges that pop up throughout the game. I hate it. So I'm keeping that off. I don't care what advantages it gives me. I can hear just fine without it. Voice chat, yeah, blah, blah. This is not really anything important, but everybody, open mic. We'll skip this. We'll go right to my controller. So guys, I have a custom scuff controller with 2 back paddles. So this, you can take a screenshot of this. This is just how I have it. I have my right paddle as circle, and I have my left paddle as triangle or X. Depending. Builds, it's triangle. No builds, it's X. So we're talking about no builds, it's X. That's my sprint. Oh, yeah, wrong controller. I was like, why isn't it working? It's this controller. Yeah, see, and then I just have regular other controllers. This, like a controller just like this, will work just fine. One last thing, guys. I prefer PS4 controllers. I'm 6'4". I have massive hands, so I actually prefer the less distance you have to go with your thumb. Take example, if I had an Xbox controller, my thumb just to hit A has to travel maybe twice the distance. That's that much time taken off. So if you're really thinking about it, I have giant hands, like giant hands. I like PS4 controllers. They fit. I've used them forever. I've had a PS2, I've had a PS3, I have a PS4. I'm gonna get a PS5 as soon as I'm able. But for now, PS4 controllers is where it's at. I hope that helped at least a little bit. I know settings can be kind of confusing, but if you need settings, just leave a comment in this video. I can go over something more specific in a later video. I also want to know, what settings are you guys using? Are you using linear or exponential? If you're using exponential, please try linear for a little bit. I know it's going to be weird. I know it's going to feel real sensitive to you, but I promise that you'll feel the aim assist more. So if you're using linear or exponential, comment down below. If you're a mouse and keyboard, hit that like button. If you're on mouse and keyboard, sorry, get out of here. I don't need you right now. Maybe later down the road, but we're sticking with controller. But if you are a mouse and keyboard player, I heard you had to subscribe to this channel. I heard it. You have to. Controller players already have liked the video. I'm not worried about them. I know they're already subbed to the channel. Controller players are the players. And I hope you guys take it easy.